tailor-made muscle cars. So we just got a really cool, pretty rare Dodge truck in from Georgia. So it's a 1990 LE 150 extended cab, and it's got the long bed. We have to do a few things to it, one of which being a headliner. So we'll walk you through it. We're going to take you a little walk around just so you can see the truck itself. Enjoy. Hey guys, so we are back in the little blue Dodge that we just picked up, and it needs the headliner done. So right now I'm going to take out the trim. You guys can see it's kind of cracked just from years and years of the heat, the cold, warping, so on and so forth. So that'll need to be addressed after we take out this board up here, the sun visors, and go to put it all back together. So here we go. I'm wearing a little nice magnetic wristlet to put my little screws on. Whoop, there they go. This way we don't lose them. All right, so here's one of those little broken pieces, and probably just broke it more. There we go. All right. Alrighty, and I'll come back over to that side. We'll get this side going first while I'm over here. Little bracelet stuff together. There we go. Alright. We have a little piece that was completely gone over here, and now we just got the little corner. All right, moving on. All right, guys, so we got all the trim, and this thing is ready to come down, as you can see. It's gonna take two of us, so we're gonna put the camera down, and we'll be back. So we got the board down. All of these come out a little bit differently, and we have to be super careful of them, of course, because they're super fragile, and they could break. You can see we got the passenger seat folded down. We're gonna have to kind of finagle it and figure out how to get it out. So once it's out, we'll show you the next step. We had to spin this, the board. We took it from the front, we moved the front all the way towards the passenger side, and then we went under the steering wheel, and now I'm gonna take it on out to the passenger side. All right, there it is. Very awkward to carry. Okay. Next step, we're gonna put it down. There we go. Next step is to get this thing clean. You kind of want to scrub it with a soft brush, and you're just gonna get some old adhesive off of it, and then some of the old foam backing. Basically, you just want to make it so that it's nice and smooth, and with all of this old stuff gone, the new stuff will stay on better, will have better contact. So you guys get the idea. Once this thing is all cleaned up, we'll show you the next step. And you can see all that, there it goes. The old adhesive is off, and now it's just time to kind of blow it all off. It's a pretty easy one compared to ones we've done in the past, so we got lucky with it. So here we go. Ready for new fabric. There we go. Now all that trim that we took down that was cracked and broken, I'm cleaning it up with some acetone, and we're going to use a two-part epoxy just to kind of get them back together for when we put up the new fabric. And this is the final piece that goes back up. So just cleaning them up, it'll have a better contact. We have this little epoxy mesh, and we kind of cut it to shape, you know, where this particular knob is. But basically, this is going to be sunk into the epoxy once it's put on the plastic itself. And in case this were to ever flex again, it kind of strengthens it and gives it a bigger brace. So we're gonna keep going with that. Epoxy, it's mixed up. It is a slow cure that typically has the better hold in the long run, and takes 24 hours to fully set. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take some on my little brush over here, and I'm gonna put a little bit of a layer on the cracked piece, something like this. Make sure we get that little part up here. Oh, and I forgot to mention too, we reinforced the backs of this with some painter's tape just to kind of hold the plastic pieces in place. And then I'm going to place our mesh over the top. You don't want to get any of this on your skin, of course. And then get some more product on and reinforce that mesh so that it has a nice hold on the trim. Spread it around, get a good layer. Okay. On to the next piece. Now this part over here has just a little tiny corner. So that one's, the mesh is stuck to the tape. There we go. And when we put the masking tape on the back of it, painter's tape rather, we made sure that all the edges were nice and flush, nice and close to each other, like a jigsaw puzzle. Get our little layer over here. Sorry, this one's hard to see. Something like that. All right. All right, so we'll get all these tightened up and we'll show you the next steps. Okay guys, so we're back at it today. We're going to do the headliner. We typically buy these by the roll. So this is a darker blue to go with the interior of the blue truck. And we've cut a piece, it's a bit larger than the board itself. Want to make sure that it has a bit of an overlap over the edges. And it's a two-part adhesive, so we're gonna do the first part and then typically the second part. So we spray the first with the board, and then we spray the material itself, let it be dry to the touch, and then we put the material on, then do the other part. Okay, so the type of adhesive that we're using, it's a contact cement. We can get it at the local hardware store. Sometimes it's a bit too thick to go through your spray gun, so you might have to dilute it a bit with your acetone. So this gun, we put a little rag around just in case that it drips, doesn't get all over the headboard. And I'm gonna go ahead and start spraying it. It's supposed to be the consistency of cobwebs or like cotton candy. That's fine. And we're gonna start with the board, then the material. Might have to go over it a couple of times. All right guys, so we've got the coverage on both the material and the headliner board itself. It's dry to a touch, so it's pretty much easier to use two people to get this thing flattened on the board. You cannot move this once it makes contact with the board, so you gotta be really, really strategic about it. We're gonna start in the center of the material and kind of flatten out with our hands. You'll watch us do it. In the center, working our way outward so we don't get any little bumps or pockets like that. So just take your time with it. The glue will eventually, it takes a bit to dry, so it'll be okay. There we go. And I'm kind of pulling with my left hand so that it's, you know, it has not too much slack in it, but it stays nice and tight to the board. All right. So far, so good. The next thing we're going to do is repeat the process for the second half of the material.
Slide your weight down that way.
We'll put a couple weights on this just to keep it down. It's a little breezy. I should add too that if you do this in the sun, your adhesive is going to dry super, super fast. So probably not a good idea to do it in the sun.
Let that clamp down there.
Putting some clamps on again, just for purposes of wind. Don't want this thing moving around on us. Okay. So we got the second half up and ready. When we put this second piece of material over, folded over, there is a bit of blue showing, so we just covered it with some plastic. This way the adhesive doesn't get on the plastic and later on show when we put it back in the truck. So anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and do the board now. We've got this turned around now, and we are going to repeat the process. Put the fabric on, dry to the touch, make the contact. And once this is complete, we are going to get a razor and trim out where the visors go, around the edges, and also where the dome light is. So again, making sure there's no pockets, nice and smooth and even as possible. There we go, and it really helps to have two people. Once we get it all trimmed up, it's gonna go back in the truck with our trim that we did the epoxies on yesterday, which we let that set for 24 hours. So I'm just taking a razor blade and I am following the shadow with the sun behind me here. Sorry, it's a little harder to see us, but helps for the project. Anyways, I'm just following the perimeter of our board. I won't bore you with it, but you're gonna do this all the way around. You're also gonna take where the visors are, and you're gonna trim those out, and our little dome light, which is right here. All right, this is the final product. We've got the headliner board in, just like how we took it out of the truck. We put it back in under the steering wheel, got it in place with the old trim that was still in here we didn't take out. Once it was kind of mocked up in place, we put the newly epoxied old trim back up, put the screws in, but before that we did the visors, cleaned them up just so this way they weren't dirty against the new fabric, and then the dome light. So I hope you enjoyed our how-to on the headliner. Please like, subscribe, comment, and see you on the next one. Bye.